Welcome once again to the Richmond Police Department's graduation and commissioning ceremony for the 126th Basic Recruit Class. We would like to thank every special guest who has joined us this morning, as well as our family and friends of these recruits. This is a huge day for you, the family and friends of these soon-to-be officers. For 32 weeks, they have been challenged and pushed to earn the badge. And the badges you see before me, they will be presented today, and none of them could be here without your support and encouragement. We would now like to hear from the 126th Recruit Class President, Samaje Taylor, as he shares about the class and their training experience. Samaje.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I want to thank everybody for coming out, loved ones, family, officers, for supporting us through our 8 months, our long journey that still has yet to come. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Samaje Taylor. I'm from Hampton, Virginia, and my class before me elected me to be president of the 126 Basic Recruit Class. Now, I'm not going to bore you with no lecture or waste anybody's time, but I have many stories of the journey that has happened. I came a long way in my class, many from Jamaica, Haiti, Bronx, New York, Manhattan, New York, Los Angeles, California, South Side. Got a lot of friends, made a lot of friends. During times of difficulty, those were the loved ones that kept us up, that kept us motivated, that kept us strong. As president, I couldn't do it by myself. My vice president, Chandler Chicario, helped me along the way, because you always need somebody by your side. When we first started the academy, Instructor Butler referred to us as "Hey you" with the feet. To gremlins, to now super gremlins. It's an honor. There we'll go to classes, we'll drive the Gremlin Mobile. As the academy went on, we had firearms, one instructor, car, Instructor Fitzpatrick, where we earned nicknames. Some of us got called T-Rex for short arms. Some of us got called Harmon, Harley Quinn. You know who you are. As the academy went on, we had OC. Those who don't know what OC is, imagine your face on 500 degrees. It's hot, but we made it through. Taser Day, worst 5 seconds of your life. Would not recommend. As we went through, we had CMT Day. Fresh air is all you need. As we went through the academy, we went to EVOC. Man, instructor McTurney can drive a car. All of us passed. Some of us, one of us, wrecked a new Ford Explorer. I'll say that story for another day. Where can I go? On days we worked out, the instructors took turns with their workouts. Instructor Pritchard always wanted us to be lean, green fighting machines. So on days Instructor McTurney worked out, he asked me, what was the worst part about the academy? I said the Dementors. That's a side joke for all Harry Potter fans. As we went through patrol tactics, had a lot of fun, learned a lot of things. Even though Sergeant Pond never smiled, never seen it. I know he loves us. Still not smiling to this day. Class, I just want to tell you a quote that made me who I am today, got me through life. Every yesterday is a memory of dreams. Every tomorrow is a vision of hope. I would like to leave the podium by saying that it's because of you all that we are here today, your support, your dedication, built our confidence. And as we are in the streets, we will still need your confidence and support to get us along the way. For we are new and we are still learning. Thank you.
Now please join me in welcoming to the podium the Honorable Levar Stoney, Mayor of the City of Richmond. Good morning.
There's multiple speeches up here, everyone, so bear with me. Good morning. I will be remiss if I didn't first start with some recognitions. I want to first start with recognizing my friend, Councilman Andreas Addison, who's with us today. Thank you, Councilman, for joining us. Our Eastern District U.S. Attorney's with us, Jessica Aber, with us as well, and also the Chief of VCU's Police Department, John Venuti's with us. Let's give them a round of applause. And I want to start with first thanking Chief Edwards and his command staff. And all the existing Richmond Police Department officers who are here with us today for their tireless work and dedication to building a safer and more just city. I also like to offer a special thanks to you, the staff of the Richmond Police Academy, for training and graduating the 126 basic recruit class here in the city of Richmond. Finally, I'd like to also welcome all families, all friends, and members of the Richmond Police Department who are with us today, and most importantly, our new officers of the 126. Give them a round of applause, y'all. Now, I am told that this is one of the most diverse classes of recruits we've ever had. Diverse in experience in life, diverse in age. That's interesting, diverse in age, you know. You know what they're trying to say. Diverse in background. And the Richmond that you will protect and serve is and will continue to be diverse, inclusive, and welcoming for all. But I want to be clear. No matter where you are from or whatever your background may be, you all are here for the same reason: to protect and serve the great city of Richmond. And we all are grateful for that service. We are grateful because few people can and will have a greater impact on the lives of those who live, work, and learn in our communities than you will. Whether you're young, old, rich, poor, left or right, you will serve them. Now, I know this job is not easy. You will be tested mentally and physically. But I also know that through your weeks of training and preparation, you have demonstrated the character and the devotion to duty that it takes to make a difference in our community, and will bring the best of times to the city of Richmond. So, my only advice is to build bridges, not walls. Seek justice with understanding, empathy, and compassion. Fight ignorance just as hard as you fight crime. Be accountable to yourself, to your colleagues, and to your city. Be the positive influence in the lives of the people that you serve. You are the guardians of the great city of Richmond. Be RPD and stay RPD. I know we are placing a lot on your shoulders, but I also know you can handle it. So let me again congratulate you on this impressive achievement and thank you for your service to our city. I wish all of you continued growth and a long career with the Richmond Police Department. Congratulations, and may God bless you, and may God bless the great city of Richmond.
And now to give you more of a glimpse of that character and devotion that the mayor mentioned of these fine recruits graduating today, we have a glimpse of just what goes on behind the scenes of the 32 weeks of training for these recruits. Please take a look at a video produced by our own James Mercante with the support of Chelsea Taylor within our Office of Public Affairs. Go ahead and direct your attention to the screens.
It's something that it's actually been a dream of mine. I think it's a dream job. There is a lot of ways to help the community by joining RPD.
And always be helpful as I am. I'm a helpful person.
The training and the skills that we're going to learn to help us become good police officers, I'm really looking forward to that.
Earning the title of being a police officer. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
What I don't look forward to, unfortunately, I do not look forward to all the yelling and move, do this, do that, you know, it's gonna be a lot. I don't feel like doing all the yelling, yeah, no.
Yeah, Greens, the police officers yelling, screaming.
Stop sucking air. And Greens, the first couple weeks were rough. I am Native. Still using Come on,
Greens is not a good color to be in.
No, I try to not to remember. It's like traumatic experience. I try to pretend like it didn't happen. Every day is something different. You never know what's gonna be on that board.
It says failure is not an option in Richmond Police Department, and it's like that stuck with us. I don't think we knew it was gonna rain. And Sheriff Attorney came in. He was like, "You know what that means?" And we're like, "Postpone." Nah. I actually enjoyed my time on the rock, getting our rock for the class. Sheriff was like, "That rock is so plain. It has no drip." And then after that, it was like, I think we gotta get some drip, y'all.
Went back, found a rock with some personality. We said, "Instructor, this rock got drip." That's what we named the rock.
A lot of, sitting in classrooms.
Oh, this is never gonna end.
Going through these PowerPoints.
What I'm not looking forward to would be long lectures.
You can look at what he documented in his report.
It wasn't you, Chief, it wasn't you. Chief Edwards has been great because he's given everything short, sweet, to the point. Chief Edwards has been present throughout the academy experience. He's been there, he's worked out with us a couple times.
We had the Chiefs run, Karen to come out and spend time with us. He got tased with us. It really made me feel like, he's really for us.
Blues transition.
Just jump, right? Just jump. Just jump. That's it. Yeah.
Transitioning to blues, you have to think on your feet. You have to make quick decisions to be able to pull your teammates from difficult positions, and you have to be able to work together well to get through it. Every single obstacle that we did there at Blues Transition was about teamwork and getting, the mission done.
Bonded and got through obstacles. I think it showed the grit and determination of my class.
Walking into the room and seeing the command staff there, it really meant a lot for us because we felt like we come a long way.
It felt like we had achieved something.
Blues is special.
This color, blue, color that we all wear. So I want to congratulate you, but understand the journey's not over.
Being in Blues, to us, it's just there's no challenge that from that point on that we felt like we couldn't beat.
I just got OC.
OC.
That was a tough day. Not a good time. Feels like your face has got lava on it.
4. Nope. 3. Yep.
Then at first I thought I was immune. I'm like, I'm immune. So then I run down to do the obstacle. I seen a drop of OC at the top of my eye, and it just dropped into my eye, and that's when it hit me.
Blink.
And you still have some tasks that you have to complete. After getting sprayed with the OC.
Get down! There we go.
Went through the CS gas. It was bad. I mean, my lungs were burning, my eyes were burning, nose was burning. I wouldn't recommend it.
And I'm expecting to not be able to breathe. They say, no, go ahead and breathe. Your brain is telling your lungs to breathe. So now I'm just choking in a cloud. And you want me to just stand there? No.
We recovered the knife with blood.
The courtroom setting.
But then she put it on the counter, is that correct?
That's correct.
The Commonwealth attorneys, the prosecutors and all that, and really seeing the science behind it.
That's not what I'm asking you, officer. What reason did you have to put hands on my client?
I was there, I know what happened, but you asked me such specific questions that I started to question whether or not I was even there. I don't even know, was I there?
There's a lot of moving parts to directing traffic.
So the traffic stuff was definitely a little tricky for me.
Remember, shoulders parallel. You don't need, there's nothing here to stop right now, right? There you go.
312 Bravo 4.
Traffic stop.
You're not in trouble.
Chill. What happened here?
10-4.
Patrol tactics isn't patrol tactics to us. It was the real life.
1300 block, Columbia Street.
I think that's one of the better parts of the academy. It kind of builds your confidence because you're putting everything you've learned so far into a hands-on scenario type situations.
Starting patrol tactics, I guess it was very difficult because you're making all the mistakes that you're not supposed to make.
No. No.
So we were like, dang, what am I doing wrong?
You gotta have your supervisor meet me at my house.
For a lot of us, it took us a couple tries to figure out.
I'm the leaseholder. I rent this place. He's just some drunken bum.
A lot of people learn about like the civil not kicking people out of their house when they live there.
So you're gonna kick me out on the streets?
I did. I was one of the people. Yeah, we evicted him. He should not have been evicted.
And like your confidence slowly starts to build.
A lot of role players, I gotta give them some Oscars because they really played their part.
What's your name and badge
and
number?
they went above and beyond what they had to do with us.
Wow, you go get him. He's like speeding. It's reckless driving right there.
Read him his rights.
It's none of your business, man.
Hey, I want a sergeant to come out here.
Preparable? Yes, sir.
Not to see you again.
No, sir.
Maybe see if you're gonna like get upset, get agitated, ruffle your feathers, you know.
Is that real?
Because you gotta keep your cool, you know. You have to maintain professionalism. Deal with a person just human to human, having that compassion and showing them that you care. And we really feel bad. That's terrible.
Okay, so like now I'm starting to pick it up. Now I know what to do. Just feel like a completely different person at the end of the 2 weeks.
You're not hurting. Is it hurting, bro? I'm not hurting him.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's not a scenario anymore, it's real life.
With the acronym, dedication, respect, integrity, and perseverance. And that's what we've stood by since the academy started.
I think the flag is amazing. We got drip.
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited. This has actually been like a goal of mine, a dream of mine to become an officer.
Oh yeah, we definitely ready. We're ready. We're ready. It's that plain and simple.
I think my whole class is just ready, and being able to show them what Richmond really is, I think they're embracing it, they're loving it, and we're ready to get out there and show the world what we can do.
And you should know that you can see the drip rock outside these doors. And now to present awards to the class, the director and executive officer of the Training Academy, please welcome Captain Kelly O'Connell, Sergeant Pond, and Officer Jason Pritchard.
Good morning. Good morning, 126. All right, the Physical Fitness Award. The Physical Fitness Award is presented to the recruit who has the highest average on all the physical fitness tests given throughout recruit training. The recipient of the Physical Fitness Award is Danielle Valentine. The Emergency Vehicle Operations Award, the EVOC Award. The EVOC Award is presented to the recruit who displayed outstanding judgment and control while operating a police vehicle. The recruits were tested on a variety of driving courses to include quick reaction courses, skid control, emergency response, and day and night pursuit driving. The 126th top driver is Chandler Jacario. Firearms Award. This award is given to the recruit who obtained the highest average score on all the department and DCJS firearms qualification courses. This officer demonstrated a high level of proficiency and safety with the department-issued handgun and shotgun. The recipient of the Firearms Award is Zamaje Taylor. The Captain Vernon F. Mike Hall Award. This award is named in memory of Captain Hall for his contributions to police training. This award is given to the recruit that maintained the highest academic average throughout recruit training. The recipient of the Captain Vernon Mike Hall Award is Francisco Rivera. The Nancy White Thomas Award. This award is in honor of Mrs. Nancy White Thomas for her inspiration and contributions to recruit training for over 42 years. Ms. Thomas passed away in 2007. However, she remains a very special friend to the Richmond Police family and has been an inspiration to every basic recruit class since 1966. This award recognizes the recruit who has demonstrated the most outstanding overall performance throughout recruit training. The recipient of the Nancy White Thomas Award is Chandler Chicario. The J.D. Ross Servant Leadership Award. Servant leadership is defined as a philosophy and set of practices that enrich the lives of individuals, builds better organizations, and ultimately create a more just and caring world. This award is named in honor of retired RPD Sergeant James Ross, otherwise known as JD. It's awarded to the recruit in each graduating class that exemplifies the core traits of a true servant leader. JD exemplified the philosophy of servant leadership every day, in that his actions were always focused on the betterment of his personnel in this organization. Some of the core traits possessed by any good leader are accountability, selflessness, humility, dependability, and respect for others. Today's recipient has consistently demonstrated these core traits over the last 32 weeks. Therefore, it is my honor to present the J.D. Ross Leadership Award to Chandler Chicario.
And now, please welcome Deputy Clerk of the City of Richmond, R.J. Warren, who will now commission the 126 basic recruit class of RPD officers.
Individually, say the letter I followed by your full name.
I, Jason Alexander.
I, Wolf Otis. I, Chandler Chicario. I, Brandon Harlow.
I, Lawrence Mongelli.
I, George Pearson III.
I, Jordan Oswald.
I, Francisco Rivera.
I, Samaje Taylor.
I, Denita Valentine.
Now collectively, repeat after me. Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support.
That I will support.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
And the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
And that I will faithfully.
And that I will faithfully.
And impartially.
And impartially.
Discharge all the duties.
Discharge all the duties.
Incumbent upon me.
Incumbent upon me.
As a Richmond City Police Officer.
As a Richmond City Police Officer.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
And down. And feet.
The badge is a symbol that represents these officers' chosen profession, and a badge is not given It is earned. Now, Chief Rick Edwards will present each officer with their badge. Friends and family members, if you will, when I call your officers' names, come on, join your officer right here in front to pin your loved one and have your photo taken. And let's hold our applause until each officer has been given their badge. Let's begin. Jason Alexander. Originally from the Bronx, New York, Alexander was a New York City train operator for 14 years. He studied business at Manhattan Community College, and he's always had the desire to fulfill his goal of becoming a cop and following in the footsteps of many men in his family. As you can see. Alexander wants to have a career where there is purpose and there is opportunity to make a difference in other people's lives in the most positive way possible. As an RPD officer, Alexander wants to be recognized as a capable, competent officer known for his quality relationships with members of the community. Pinning him today is his cousin RPD officer, Willie Ruffin, joined by Herbert Williams, Deborah Alexander, Jasmine and Shakia Alexander, Dennis and Derek Williams, Carl Harris, Randy Stallings, and Minerva. So awesome. I present to you Officer Jason Alexander. Thank you. Wolf Auguste. From Port-au-Prince, Haiti, he currently serves in the U.S. Army and has studied computer science before joining RPD. He joined law enforcement to be part of something bigger than himself, saying, "I want to keep the community safe." Auguste's most memorable moment in the academy came during driver's training, saying, "I got to learn what my limits were and the physics behind it." As an RPD officer, he wants to learn to be the best patrolman he can. Bottom line, he says, "I want to help as many people as I can, fighting crimes and getting firearms and narcotics off the streets." Pinning Auguste today are his mom and dad, Altador Marie Gaging, and Maxime Toussaint. I present to you Officer Wolf Auguste. Chandler Jacario. From Charlotte County, Virginia, Jacario most recently was an electrical lineman, and he decided to pursue a career in law enforcement at the encouragement of his friends and family. Experiencing the OC pepper spray together with his classmates was one of the most memorable moments of the academy. Jacario is a proud dog dad to a German and Australian shepherd. And as an RPD officer, he eventually wants to become a part of the K-9 unit. Pinning him is his wife Diana and his family. I present to you Officer Chandler Jacario. Brendan Harlow. Originally from West Point, Virginia, and a former landscaper, Harlow joins RPD with an associate's degree in criminal justice. He's following in his dad's footsteps, who was a police officer for 20 years. Harlow says his core values came from his dad. He says, "I saw my dad as a hero because he helped people every day. I hope that I can be as good of an officer as he was and make the community better." His memorable moment came during patrol tactics, saying he overcame adversity and gained his confidence in what he was learning. Harlow's goal is to eventually join the focus mission team of RPD. Pinning him today is his mom and his girlfriend. I present to you Officer Brendan Harlow. Officer Lawrence Mangelli. From Queens, New York, before joining RPD, Mangelli worked in security at Madison Square Garden until just last year. having come from a family that has always been community-minded, with relatives serving law enforcement and public safety, Manjeli was encouraged to join RPD. His most memorable moment happened during transition evolution when he fell from an obstacle and hurt his ribs. He did so much so that he tore the cartilage and he couldn't breathe. The motto of the 126 is failure is not an option. In that moment, Manjeli said he had to dig deep to continue. Thanks to his classmates and especially officers Fitzpatrick and Davenport, who kept running beside him and encouraging him to keep pushing until they finished. As an RPD officer, Manjeli wants to develop strong relationships and build those bridges that Mayor spoke about, so that when they see him, they know he's there to help and can be trusted. Pinning him today is Lisa, his wife, joined by his granddaughter, Giovanna, his brother Michael, and his son-in-law, Officer Chris Pruner. I present to you Officer Lawrence Manjeli. George Pearson III. From the south side of Richmond, a recent graduate of Old Dominion University, Pearson worked as a hazmat technician for HEPACO. He wanted to be RPD and become a law enforcement officer because he wants to be a catalyst for change within the city, be very proactive officer in order to create more community-based policing. He says he knows this will take time, but he knows he's called to do this job. During the academy, Pearson had to face the passing of his grandma. He says the academy staff and his classmates really helped him to process the grief. He says, without them, I don't think I would have been able to keep going. But I am here to say that I overcame this adversity, and I know my grandma would be really proud that I never gave up. As he embarks on his law enforcement career, Pearson says, I want to learn as much as I can from veteran police officers to figure out what I love doing and go do it. Pinning him today is his mom and dad, Angela and George Pearson Jr., his godmother, Dee Dee Anderson, and his girlfriend, Divine Shelton. I present to you Officer George Pearson III. Joe Reynoso. Originally from Los Angeles, California, he currently serves in the U.S. Army Reserves as a combat engineer and is a graduate of Virginia Union University. He is ready to make a difference in the community as an RPD officer. Growing up, he tended to crops and raised horses on a farm with his grandfather. That gave him an understanding that through hard work and dedication, you can accomplish your goals. About the training academy, he says the highlight came during firearms training. As an officer, Reynoso says he wants to serve our community and the department with the highest level of dedication, respect, integrity, and perseverance. Pinning him today are his parents. I present to you Officer Joe Reynoso. Francisco Rivera. From the south side of Richmond, Rivera formerly served as a Henrico County Sheriff's Deputy. In joining RPD, he brings a passion to serve and make an impact in the lives of our city's youth. A memorable moment from the academy came during the recruits' focus on crowd management techniques when they got to experience the pepper spray in the face. Rivera's goal is to become a school resource officer, otherwise known as an SRO, because he wants to help guide our city's youth in a positive direction. Pinning him today is his mom, Natasha Rivera, and his uncle, retired detective second grade of the New York City Police Department, Geraldo Rivera, and his girlfriend, Brianna Saunders. I present to you Officer Francisco Rivera. Samaje Taylor. From Hampton, Virginia, Taylor serves as a gunner's mate in the U.S. Navy. Taylor says the reason he's becoming a law enforcement officer is to give back and positively serve our Richmond community. He says transitioning to blues is something he'll always remember as a major milestone. And he'll always remember the Harry Potter reference, the Dementors. He looks forward to learning from other officers and wants to gain as much knowledge and experience as he can to advance his career. Pinning him today is RPD Officer Jill Simons, joined by his mom and dad, Glenda Taylor Donez and Will Donez. I present to you Officer Samaje Taylor. Daniel Valentine. Originally from St. Catherine, Jamaica, Valentine migrated to the United States in 2017 to New York City. Valentine serves in the New York Army National Guard. He's becoming a law enforcement officer with RPD to have the opportunity to help people in tough situations get back on their feet and ultimately help folks turn their lives around. Valentine's most memorable moment from the basic recruit class also came from the OC pepper spray training. Valentine wants to gain as much experience as possible and plans to soak it all in. He too aspires to join the K-9 unit. Pinning him today is Richard Scrivener, who is joined by Candida and Vicente Turby and LaToya Spence. I present to you Officer Daniel Valentine. I present to you the 126 basic recruit class of the Richmond Police Department's officers. Welcome. Let's hear it. And now, please welcome to the podium our Chief of Police, Rick Edwards, who will have his remarks for the class. Chief?
All right. Thank you, everyone. I will have to pick up this microphone because I forgot the gift from Chief Venuti, which was an extender for the microphone. After you see me struggle to speak at this podium previously. I'll remember it next time, Chief. I'd like to thank Mayor Stoney for coming today. We appreciate you, and all of our dignitaries. Thank you so much for sharing this important day. And thank you particularly, we have a wonderful crowd of family and friends for our young officers. That is so important. They need you today, and they're going to need you in the weeks, months, and years to come. So thank you as they embark on this incredible journey. And to the 126, Samaje, Daniil, Jason, Wolf, George, Joe, Chandler, Francisco, Brendan, and Lawrence, welcome to the RPD family. I love your motto. So dedication, respect, integrity, and perseverance, and work for a cause, not applause. As you may know from my frequent emails to the police department, I always end my signature with the 82nd, BRC. That's my class. It makes me feel old every time I say that because the 126 is 44 classes in between now and then. I still feel young, but just know I started this job with hair, so you guys this is what you got to look forward to after 24 years in this city. But seriously, this class is very special to me. It's the first class where I was the acting chief of police and now the the official chief of police for Richmond. So I got to know you all early. And, you know, whether it was through the training, through the runs, we won the award for the law enforcement 5K. And I've got to be honest, though, Kelly, thank you for not including Major Goins' time in that. Because, so to those, Chesterfield, all those police departments we beat, we didn't count Major Goins. He's new to running, so we just kind of let him run with us. So it's my first confession as chief of police of wrongdoing. And we got to talk about that taser video. Mercante, I thought we said we were going to lower the scream and volume. I did not sound very manly in that. But in my own defense, I've been a cop for 24 years. I've never been tased before. I never had a taser. So I got two pieces of advice. I don't think Lieutenant McQuail's here, but he gave me some good advice. He said, all right, first, make sure you go to the bathroom before you get tased. And he said, also, make sure that you wear dark pants in case that doesn't come to fruition. So I took both those pieces of advice, but something the video doesn't show is, Officer Butler, where are you? You're hiding in the hallway there? Come on out, Officer Butler. Where is he? Oh, there he is. All right, so it doesn't show it in the video, but 2 seconds before they say it, he leans over to me and says, all right, Chief, when he says taser, 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 exhale. So I look at him and I'm like, what does that mean? And then they do it. You gotta give me more time than that. And if you have no air in your lungs, you can't scream, so it looks much cooler. And you just go and fall to the ground like everyone else, but you're not screaming like I did. So I know for the 127th, I'm going to give the advice to Major Ronnie Armstead. He's agreed to do it next time for the 127th. So Ronnie is going to just prepare to empty your lungs before that. You'll look much cooler than me. But one thing I always said to you when we ended our workout is, I don't expect perfection, I expect improvement. And throughout your process, every time I saw you, there was an improvement. Every day better than the next, because you can never master this job. This job is too complicated, it's too difficult. And if you're not humble, it will humble you quickly. So stay humble, ask questions early and often of your senior officers, find someone, find a mentor on your shift, and continue to ask those questions. I don't want you to be a know-it-all. I want you to be a learn-it-all, because that's what this job is. Constantly evaluating it and trying to improve. Every day, I try to learn something different, and every day I do in this job. It's too complicated. The advice that I give to new officers that has served me well throughout my career is follow the golden rule of policing. So treat every encounter you have with a citizen the way you'd like your mother to be treated in a similar police encounter. And you have to be objective in it, because sometimes the police have to do things that nobody wants to do. But you can still be professional, you can still do it with kindness, and you can still make that citizen feel that at least you did your job properly. And you won't go wrong if you follow that, unless you hate your mother. So if you hate your mother, pick someone else. If you hate your mother, we got bigger problems. So. But the key is that this job is about talking to people mainly. It's not about the car chases or the gunfights or the Code 1 responses. Now, that being said, this is still Richmond, and you will have your moments. And no doubt you have to be prepared for that. But realize that most of it is about interacting with people. We're in the people business. I don't care what anyone tells you, that's what this job actually is. So 49% of the time you're on a call, I want you to focus on the practical aspects of this work. The technical performance, rapidly respond to the emergency calls, create a well-written report, testify truthfully and accurately to the magistrate and to the judges. But 51% I want you to think about is, how did I make that complainant feel? And did you actually listen to them? Did you show that you cared about their problem? They don't call the police every day. And while that might be your 15th call of the day, that's probably their first interaction in years with the police. And it's memorable. They will remember those contacts with you. So just constantly realize that when you go on these calls, that what may be ordinary for you might be the worst day of a person's life. I can't tell you how many times throughout my career, my 24 years in this city, where someone has come up to me and remembered me from an encounter decades before, oftentimes for when I was in uniform patrolling 2nd Precinct. You can talk to the veteran officers here too. If you've worked in this city long enough, someone will come up to you and remember you. Be the kind of officer that's remembered for something positive. And I'll tell you a story. And very early, my first year in 2000, 2001 or so, I remembered being at the DPR desk. We had to do a deferred police response call. Someone had to answer the phone on the calls, and I was low man on the totem pole, and they had me doing that. And while I was in there was a lady comes in clutching her chest, and she's having heart palpitations. And she's pretty calm, but we're concerned about her, so we get her an ambulance. And my sergeant comes up to me, and as the ambulance en route, she says, well, I got to pick my son up at daycare. And I'm like, okay, well, we can try to call people. Who's gonna watch your son? She said, well, my mother can watch my son, but she doesn't drive. So my sergeant at the time says, well, don't worry, ma'am, this officer's gonna pick your son up and take him over there. And I was looking at him like, I'm a police officer. What are you talking about? I'm not daycare, I'm not a social worker. But he was the boss, so I did that. So I get the information from her, and as she's taken away by the ambulance, I drive over to 3rd Precinct, pick this little boy up. He was 6 or 7 years old. And he had gone through this before. She had this spells before, and he just hopped in my car, and I drove him over to Southside to his grandma's house. And as we did it, we're talking about sports. He's asking me about my life. I'm talking to him about his life. He says he loves football, and it keys into me that I had a football in the back of my car because we were given toys and gifts to give the kids. And after we stopped, I gave him the football, and he said, hey, can you throw it with me for a little bit? And I took 10 or 15 minutes and threw the football with him, gave him to Grandma, and thought nothing of it again. I never thought anything of it because that kind of thing happens often to Richmond police officers. And it wasn't until years later he approached me, and you will get this approach, do you remember me? And I looked at him, and I didn't remember him. I said, no, sir. He was much older at this point. He's like, you're the officer that drove me home when my mom had heart palpitations. And I had forgotten about that story for years. And I remember that I had made a good interaction with that person. And it meant very little to me, but that formed his relationship with the Richmond Police Department. And he said, I always appreciated that. So I want you to look for those opportunities. You'll be filled with them. Find those interactions to make a positive one, and that is literally the best part of this wonderful job. And that brings me to the uniform that you're wearing. There's 3 things I want to talk about it. The first one is your name, the name on your uniform. The second is this patch we wear on our shoulders. That patch says the City of Richmond Police Department. Finally, the badge. And the badge, I don't care what it says on it, but what it represents is bigger than the City of Richmond. It's bigger than you. It's about the profession of policing. And you now are going to represent that profession to everyone you come in contact with. It's a heavy weight that now you're going to have to carry. And I'm going to ask you to consider every action you take in this uniform with that knowledge that you represent this profession. We have seen what happens when police officers tarnish this badge across the country and how it has effects around the country and around the world. So every opportunity you take in this uniform gives you the opportunity to build trust with our community, to tarnish trust, or destroy it. And we lose trust in buckets in this job, and we gain it back in thimbles. So remember that. Feel the weight of that badge, and never forget the important trust this city is giving you to wear it. Finally, I just want to share with you that this job is incredibly difficult. I'm not telling you something you don't know, but I want to hammer that home with you. It's very complicated. Oftentimes, you're forced to pick between a series of bad decisions. There are no good choices, and you're forced to do it like that. And many new officers think that this job gets easier. I'm going to break it to you now, it never gets easier. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the wrong way to look at it. The officers who've succeeded in this department, and I'm not talking about the men up there and women up there that have rank. I'm talking about the officers who succeeded at every level, because there's success at every level. But the ones that have succeeded have realized that truth, that you have to constantly improve your skills and learn about this profession and understand that there is no easy path in the Richmond Police Department. But nothing worth doing is easy. Make yourself into the kind of officer that just handles difficult things well. That's the best you can hope for, is that you create the type of learning environment and skills that you can constantly improve. And to that end, I just want to say to you, the first thing I said was, welcome to the adventure of a lifetime, when we first met. And I said that because, as many of you know, we've lost a lot of Richmond police officers after 2020. And before I met with the class and said that, I'd read a letter of one of the officers we've been able to convince to come back. And we always ask them in the recruiting process, why do you want to come back to the Richmond Police Department? And this officer said, you know, I found myself again and again when I was talking about my job, and I won't name the other police departments, so you don't have to worry about that. But he said, I found myself saying to people when they asked me about my job, yes, I'm a police officer here, but I used to be a cop in the city. And they always wanted to hear the stories about being a cop in this city. And that's what I mean by adventure. He realized that that's what the Richmond Police Department is about. You will never have to doubt that you are the real police, that you're doing God's work in this profession and how important it is. And he said he always had that caveat when he talked about it, that he had to explain that I used to be a city cop. And I can't promise you fortune and fame, even though, Mayor, we're working on the fortune part. We're trying to get you some pay increases. We're working on it. But I can promise you the adventure of a lifetime. And you will never doubt that you've had a meaningful life if you wear this uniform. So thank you all. Great work. I'm so proud of you.
The 126 will now recite the Code of Ethics.
So, Code of Ethics.
As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve mankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all men to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, maintain courageous calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule, develop self-restraint, and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed in both my personal and official life, I will be exemplary in obeying the law of the land and the regulations of my department. Whatever I see or hear of a confidential nature that is confided to me in my official capacity will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of duty. I will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudice, animosities, or friendships to influence my decisions, with no compromise for crime and with relentless prosecution of criminals. I will enforce the law courteously and appropriately, without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as a public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of police service. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God to my chosen profession, law enforcement.
Thank you. Friends and family, we ask that you please be patient as the new officers are needed for photos and media. After that, they're all yours. Cadre, you may now dismiss the 126th Basic Recruit Class.
.126, congratulations. Super Gremlins, let's ride. Dismissed.